Good morning, everyone. My name is Amanda, and welcome back to City Sewers. So what we're going to do today is we are going to work some more on the garden that we have over here in the front for the kids. Unfortunately, over the past few days since we did work on it, the cats have decided that it's a wonderful toilet, so we get to clean up the poop first. But I do have help from my wonderful pooper scooper, Nathan.
He's so excited.
Hi. Hi. So Nathan's already a fantastic dog pooper scooper, so now we're going to see how well he can do with the cat poop.
Ooh, what a privilege.
Big thumbs up. Fine. So while he's doing that, David is going to be working on constructing, hopefully get the whole fence up, maybe put a gate in, and get the beds built, and we'll start filling those up. And we'll see how far we can get on that today. But we'll taking you along for the ride, and enjoy. So what we're going to do for the fencing, the materials that we're using is we're going to do the heavy-duty T-posts in the corners, and then we'll use the lighter-duty U-posts because they're a little bit less expensive. And then what we'll do for the actual fencing material is that it's 2x4 wire fencing. And we have used cattle panels in the past, but that's what we have fencing the big garden. But at this point, the only animals we're trying to keep out of it are cats. We don't need the big heavy-duty stuff like we have for the goats. We need something that's really kind of thin and flimsy, something that the cats are not going to feel comfortable with walking on or trying to jump over. So that's our current goal right now, and we'll just see how it all turns out.
Mom, look what I...
All right, Mr. P, tell us what you're doing out here.
We are putting together the actual garden. Right now I'm actually just leveling it. Nathan just picked up all the cat poop from the neighborhood felines, and we are putting in the kids' Christmas present gardens. They're going to be 3 8 by 3 foot flower beds that are going to be raised up. I got all the wood here all unloaded already, and we are getting ready to actually start construction. It's always the exciting part. The prep, just, you know, it's prep. It's not exciting. But we're going to probably time-lapse it as we do it, but I figured we should probably just show you what we're doing or tell you what we're doing. This old bed here, we're going to be actually getting rid of it. This was like the peacemaker bed. Well, fine, you can have a little bit of the garden, or a little bit of the front yard for a garden, but that is now going to go the way of the dodo bird, and we're going to recycle the soil that's in there. We are going to put that soil into the new beds and then supplement it with fresh stuff that we get from probably a local soil company, dirt company. We're going to kind of look around and see what we can find, get the best deal, and we'll tell you what the mixes that Amanda puts together is. What else are we going to do? I still have a little bit of cutting out to do right on that edge there, so that is definitely going to be part of the project. And we're going to put up the fence. So we'll see how much we actually get done today. We have a fresh green bin to put any green waste in, but to be honest, I don't really think there's going to be a whole lot more that we're going to get. Kiddos, you want to come over here and show them who's helping as they see you pop into the videos? We have Miss Audrey here, Nathan, and Caleb. His shirt is not entirely true. He's actually usually pretty nice. How nice are you, Caleb? 100%. That's right. And when he's not, we just take this shovel and no, we have some fun. We're gonna have some fun building it. And then who's gonna actually do the eating of the food when you guys grow it? You are? You are? Are you gonna eat? Okay, all right. What are you gonna grow? Why don't you tell us what your favorite thing and you're most excited about growing in here is?
I think the most exciting thing that I'm going to grow is the tomatoes.
The tomatoes. Any specific kind?
The cherry thing.
Cherry thing?
She's growing Berry's Crazy Cherry this year.
Berry's Crazy Cherry.
That one.
Caleb, what are you most excited to grow?
I don't know.
You don't know? What about you, Nathan?
My new chocolate pear and my bell pepper for the first time.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, he's going to grow a yellow monster bell pepper.
What was the pepper you loved last year, Audrey?
It was corbachi.
Corbachi, yeah, that was a good one. Actually, we all fell in love with that one this year. All right, so anyway, whose should we build first? Who's going to go all the way on this side? You want yours to be the first one in here? Okay. Who's going to be second?
Me!
Ooh, Nathan, you didn't speak up. He jumped on that. Well, tell you what, we'll decide who's after we get going. We'll see who works the hardest and let them pick from there. How about that?
I'll go second.
Oh,
I'm
all
going to
right.
go second.
Sounds good. All right, let's
Why
set
don't
up
we
that
do it
time lapse and see what
oldest to
happens.
youngest?
Wow, look at that. 3 beds built. Urgh. Yeah.
Yes, all right. We got the bones built of all 3 of the flower beds, garden beds. It's pretty awesome. Pretty fun. So we are done with the bones of the main bed. Now, obviously, there's still wood left over. Part of the reason is because we're going to have to build a climbing area, like a latticed short bed. We're going to do like a 1 foot ish bed.
There's going to be a skinny bed that's going to go right along the fence there so that we can
So
let something climb on
where
the
it can
fence.
climb without shading everything else, because we're already going to deal with enough shade from the house. It's just part of what we're doing. The short pieces of wood, I'm going to build a gate that is accessible from the patio walkway there. So that's the goal. And then long term, we'll put bark in. It'll be lovely, and no complaints from anyone.
Yeah. And it'll be perfect.
Yes.
And
cats
always,
won't get in it.
like no weeds, no cats.
I don't know if I don't know if it came into the video, if you saw that stinking cat, Mr. Kitty, come through here. But he was walking in, just making himself at home, and I have to chase him away. It's like, dude. We're very excited. There's a lot going on, and we are looking forward to the rest of it. But right now it's lunchtime, so we're gonna take a little break.
Lunch break.
Mom,
What do you got there, bud?
a cat?
A cat? What's his name?
Bob? I don't know.
No, that one's not Bob.
This is the problem. The cats come and poop in our garden and stuff, and they get love
This is
when.
the only one that's friendly.
Yeah, the others are like feral. They get food and yeah. So, Kayla, what was that you were really excited about just a minute ago?
Oh, the baby's kicking the Betsy's tummy.
Yeah, the baby goats. Yeah, Caleb said he felt the baby's kick, but I was just talking to Amanda. Amanda, what do you think about that? Is it too early? Is it on time? What is the status of that?
It's a little early to feel babies in the goats because they're not due until late March and late April. So we got a ways to go.
So tell me about the gestation period, how long, when they were bred and when we're actually expecting.
Well, Jane was bred back in November before Thanksgiving. Betsy didn't take the first time, so we had to go back 4 weeks later. So she was bred more in early December. And so what's going to happen is that Jane is due March 29th, and Betsy's due date is April 25th. So we'll have a little gap, but that's okay. But yeah, so baby goats.
Also, what is this tree? Tell me about this tree.
Dad, there was a cat right here.
Oh, good.
That was a friend.
What is this tree? Remind me, this is our fruit salad tree?
Yeah, this is a fruit salad tree. It's got 2 peaches, an apricot, a plum, and a nectarine. Yeah. So it's got 5 different varieties on it. And this one over here is a 4-in-1 apple. But I just noticed on this branch I just cut off, it's got a praying mantis nest.
Oh, you are a horrible person.
But there's another one up there, and there's another one on the apple tree. We're gonna have a ton of praying mantises this year.
What are the benefits of a praying mantis besides being creepy and kind of cool and having somewhat religious significance?
A praying mantis is a predatory insect, so it'll actually hunt down and kill a lot of harmful pests in the garden. I'm in the tree.
You're such a nerd, I love it. I could ask you literally anything about any animal or creature and you're like, I know exactly what to say. But she's my nerd, so it works out.
Urban nerd with a goat herd.
That's right. That's her. Your urban nerd with a goat herd. So I've been over there building a thing, and you've been over here working on a project of your own. What was it? And can you kind of tell me about what you're doing and why?
Well, over here, I have been just clearing out a lot of this
Oh my
leaf
gosh,
litter
it's
and,
beautiful.
just trying to clean up this mound so that I can get it ready for spring. Just trying to muck out all the nasty old dead leaves and get ready to kind of build this up again. And then I got to figure out, I'm going to try, being the operative word here, putting eggshells all over the whole thing to try and keep the cats from destroying it because it's pockmarked with holes all over the other side that I haven't gotten to cleaning up yet.
Keep those recommendations coming. We're gonna give it a shot. There's promises that it works.
Yeah, I mean they work at least for a period of time. So, and when they eventually do decompose, they do add calcium to the soil. So I guess that's good long term.
Plus, if you bury them in a garden, they grow baby chickens in spring. Is that not true?
He's not the nerd. I'm the nerd.
Nathan thought it was funny. All right, so what do you have growing here? Oh, look, my rosemary bush. I love that thing.
Yes, Daddy's rosemary. Well, we have the fruit trees and the rosemary are the only edible things, really. Everything else I forget what these are. They're a ground cover of
They're
some kind.
beautiful.
Of
They literally just cover the whole thing in spring. It's great.
Yeah, by summertime, it'll be just a carpet of these plants. But then I have a bunch of marigolds in here as well because they kind of protect the tree roots from nematodes. And then I thought these were dead. These are freesias. I transplanted a bunch of freesias into here 2 years ago, and they never came up. They all died back, and I thought, oh, well, bummer. And now in the wintertime, they come back, and they're like, we're alive! And they'll bloom in the spring, and then by the time the summer heat comes, they'll die back again. So they're kind of just, my winter resurrection plant, I guess.
All right, so while I'm over there working on that, you're working on this. Do you actually think all of this green waste you've cut off is going to fit in our green bin today?
No.
Why not? Come on, put your back into it.
Maybe if I had a wood chipper.
You could throw your husband in there, and then you wouldn't have to worry about my ideas anymore.
But no, I don't think this will all fit in there. Not in one trip, anyway.
Oh, check this out. Okay, so see this thing right here? This disgusting, yucky, kind of pretty. Watch this. It's actually a magical item that grows up in these city trees above. It's magical because watch this. When you hold this, it's called mistletoe, up above your wife. It's just like magic. No, this mistletoe is like, what is it?
It's a parasitic plant.
It's a parasitic plant that like literally will kill this tree. And meanwhile, it just decides to drop every once in a while in giant clumps on our car, which is just lovely.
Yeah, this one happened to be hanging low enough. I went ahead and cut it off.
Yeah, the city tree trimmers have to come around. They have a cycle of pruning the trees, but this town is really...
What is it, every 5 years or something? They finally get around to doing the trees they did
somewhere between 5 and 8. That's the goal.
And that's what that noise is over there.
Yeah, people trimming trees.
Yep.
Anyway, keep up the good work. We'll get a picture at the end. All right, got a warm belly of chicken soup, and it is time to get back to it. Here's the game plan for the afternoon. We're gonna lay out the different beds, and we are going to tear down the old bed there. The square one that we have up against the fence is full of good soil. It's a year-ish old. I don't even think it's a year old. But anyway, we're gonna reuse that soil. You're gonna probably see me pull out some stumps that we put in there, like a piece of firewood that we were using as kind of filler. So that is gonna probably be the same way that we kind of save a little bit of money by putting, blocks in there so that we don't have to fill the whole thing up with soil. You can kind of see a makeshift lattice in the background there. The white PVC pipe, that was an idea we had to kind of give our, loofahs we were growing there?
Yeah, it was supposed to be an arched trellis kind of idea on a miniature scale because I didn't have materials to make a big one.
Kind of like a Pinterest fail.
It was not a fail. It grew on it.
It actually did. It did grow well. But it is not lovely, so that's going to be coming out. And then all the plants that are in there now, I don't really know what those are. They're various... Our squash are all gone, but anyway, you're gonna see me build the rest of it here, and I'm gonna be moving all the dirt out of that one into the new bin and cutting up a little more grass on the right edge of the flower bed area. So anyway, have fun. tearing out the old garden bed and just kind of doing a little bit of basic cleanup to make sure that we are flat. The edges of the beds are obviously flat, but the ground, I didn't level it with like a laser level or anything. It was mostly eyeballed. So as soon as I got it all done, I had to just make sure there wasn't holes at the bottom, like deep spots. So I kind of took some from the surface, which is going to be covered, and so we filled in those low spots. Anyway, so we're good to go. Basically, all the dirt you see right now in these beds here, number 1 and 2, came from that square flower bed that we had originally, which is actually a lot more than I expected. We pretty much had one of them, this one, filled up. Then Nathan and Audrey moved that wood over and the soil over as well, and we kind of just spread it out. Now, Audrey's got that giant half-rotten wood, but anyhow, so this is the beginning of it, and we will progress from here.
The purpose of the logs is that they kind of serve as a filler for the bed, and then over time they'll decompose, and then they'll add to the nutritional value of the soil to the plants. So it's
just cheapness.
Yeah,
It helps though.
it's a win-win.
Yeah, so I'm going to now start putting in some posts, kind of visually laying out what we're going to look like for our fencing. So that is the next part up, and you can kind of see. Here, I'll just grab it so we're not. This was the original bed. It looked a little small up against the fence there, but this is actually Amanda's personal project. She did this herself. I kind of just watched and didn't really do much. A little bit of help from me, but Amanda did it all on her own because she wanted to have a garden, and I was tired. Not really. We did it together, but she actually did all the screws, all the cutting, and she was really proud of it. So good for her. And now we get to do a full-blown garden in the front yard. So that's well, we're at least halfway there. Now it's just fencing and gate and stuff, and filling it up.
And we're gonna put some bark down in the walkways to kind of keep it nice and neat and keep it dry and just, you know, make it into a nice little area to be in.
Audrey, what did you find over there?
Snails!
And what should we do with snails?
Decompose
them.
them.
Compose them? What?
Kill them.
Kill them?
Give them to the chicken.
There you
There
go.
it is. You can just,
Wonder why.
Audrey, you can just throw it over that fence right there. It goes into the backyard.
Say, here, chicks.
This one.
Here, tick, 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 tick.
Just throw it over. They can. No. Yeah, it made it into a
Perfect. Anyway, we shall continue.
So these are actually going to have 1.5 foot walkways because it's for 3 kids. They don't need super wide walkways. I'm not too worried about having to get in any wheelbarrows or anything like that, because once these are full, I don't think I'm going to worry too much. Otherwise, it'll just be the occasional bag of dirt or so that's coming in. So it's not going to be a lot of adult traffic. So on the end over here, we're going to have a 1 foot wide bed that will go up right up against the fence so that we can put something that's actually going to climb up there. So it's going to be just a really skinny little bed that you don't need to do a lot of work in, just barely big enough to put a plant in. And we're going to plant some Mexican sour gherkins in that and let it kind of take over the fence, and I think it'll do really well. What's a gherkin? It's a cucumber. They are the little cucamelons. They're teeny tiny little bite-sized delicious snacks. So, but yeah, so we're gonna continue on with the project. Okay, so we've got the skinny bed built. It actually turned out to be less than a foot wide in order to allow for the walkway to be wide enough. So how wide is it, David?
Well, we got a 15.5-inch walkway on the far right by the small bed, and then everything else got an 18-inch walkway.
Right, but how wide is the small bed itself now?
You know what? I don't know off the top of my head. I cut off 3.5 inches. You know, I don't know. Let me look. Actual gross space, 9 inches.
Okay, so it's a 9-inch bed. It'll be fine because we don't need a lot of things in there. It's only going to be like 1 plant wide.
But we should definitely do some companion planting, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
So while he's been working over here, I've been working on this mountain over here. And it's ridiculous how much cat poop I just pulled out of this thing. Like,
Cats don't care where they go, they just go.
they don't care where they go. They don't care whose property it is. Just, I gotta go, so I'm gonna. But so I got all the leaf litter cleared off. Got a lot of cat poop pulled out. And I'm sure there's more in there that I haven't found. But it's getting all nice and cleaned up. And I think what I'll do today is I'm gonna just put a tarp over it for now to keep it covered and protected, to keep them from pooping on it until I can finish it. So, but yeah, it's looking really nice. It's been so ugly and like covered in nasty old dead leaves all winter. So getting it all cleaned up, getting it looking nice. So David's going to start working on putting some fence posts in and plotting out exactly where the gate's going to go. We know that there's going to be a gate.
Right here. Boom. So, you know, coming this way, that way. But we're only going to do one gate. Actually, I guess that's definitely where it's going to go. Look at that. Made a decision.
There you go.
Decision maker.
It's just the question was, I think, if it was going to be right on the corner or a little bit in from it.
Yeah.
Make a wood door.
We have like a sprinkler right there, so I'm going to have to dig out and cap it, I think, before I do anything. I don't know. I can do that another time even. I think I'm going to get the fence up today, because otherwise it's going to become a giant litter box.
Yes, we need it fenced today. Either fenced or covered.
Yep. So let's do it.
All right. Let's do it to it. Boom, there it is. There's a fence up.
We're almost
Yes,
done.
there it is.
Now, there's
Close
only,
one anyway.
granted, it's only 3 feet tall,
But it's something.
but it may be enough to deter a cat from jumping over it, because it's
Just wait till we electrify this bad boy.
it's not going to support a cat's weight. They're not going to be comfortable jumping up over it, so I'm hoping that that will be the end effect and that they won't, like, try to jump in there to use the toilet.
All we have to do now
There's
is the door and then
There's a gateway. There's no gate on it yet, but it's
That's
there.
what those
Actually-
extra pieces are.
Right. Here. All right, well, the rain is coming, incidentally, but we are going to do our best to finish up the gate at least. I don't know what the long-term plan is for, like, filling it, but that's another day's plan, or another
Yeah.
day's project. Yeah.
We have to at least finish the gate or
Yeah.
something.
Nathan's, like, way ready to go play some Zelda, so
Yeah.
we're going to get as much done of this as we can, and then be done today.
Hey, Nathan. You been a good helper to Dad today?
Yeah.
Yeah. Raindrops in the face. Well, thank you for helping out, buddy.
You're welcome.
You excited to have your own garden?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're gonna grow peppers and tomatoes. Is there anything else that you want to grow in it?
Lettuce.
Lettuce? Okay, that's a good one.
I have a red bell pepper and a yellow bell pepper and some beans.
All right, Mr. P, are you ready to build this gate?
Build this gate.
Let's build this gate.
1, 2, 3.
Go! All right, David,
Yes, ma'am.
tell me how you are building this gate.
All right, so I have a couple 2x1, 3x1 pieces of wood. We got 3, 4, 8-foot pieces. Looks like it's only gonna end up taking probably 3 of them. I have 29-inch wide gate going this way. Height-wise, I have to kind of remember I have a bump right here, so it's a little less than the 3-foot fence itself. So we're looking at about 34 and a half inches tall. I am going to connect it to this piece of wood, which I have very geniusly rigged to this metal steel post with zip ties or cable ties, if you want to be very technical. And I'm about to take a couple more of these, and I'm going to lay them right on there, bolt it all together, and see if we can make that gate happen real quick. Okay?
Not too shabby, sir.
Yeah. Remember when the good old days? You know, one thing, good lesson to you DIYers, always make sure you have the right length screws. So I had screws that were too short and I had screws that were too long.
So we use
And
the 2 long ones.
so we went with the 2 long ones for now. I'm gonna end up getting some shorter ones and taking about probably
But
go
that's
down
another day.
from 3 inch to 2.5 inch, just so I don't have these little spikes sticking out. But it's gonna secure it at least for the time being. Even though we don't have crops, the cats, we don't want them to get used to having a litter box. Anywho, so I'm gonna put these hinges on and then call it a day. Clean up my toys. So now for the final piece.
Oh wait, we gotta get a close up here.
So dramatic.
So
Watch
dramatic.
me like shank myself with a screw gun. There we go.
Huzzah!
So, David,
Yes, ma'am.
how are you attaching these posts, I guess, to the T-posts?
All right, so this one I don't have to jerry rig with a series of cable ties. These are kind of fancy. So the U-bolts have these. Whoa, I'm gonna fall, and I'm gonna be the first one to fall. It's gonna be great. Now these
Yay,
ones
wait.
have little holes throughout. So I'm just gonna take this bad boy, screw it into that bad boy. And be like, good
Why can't they be
boys.
good boys?
Huh?
Why can't they be good boys? Why
Because
are they
they're
gotta be
good
bad
boys
boys?
when they're doing what I want them to do. Kind of want it the same height as everything else.
That's a cool gate.
There we go. 2 points for David. Splendiferous. And really, this seems like the easiest part of it. And it might be. But if you don't plan on what size eye hook you got, you're going to end up overshooting it. So it's not like you just screw this in anywhere. You want to make sure your eye hook that you're putting on this side is right in the middle. So I'm going to just put a little puncture hole here so I know where it's going to be. Just go right in like that. Pull that right out like so. Alright, so fancy thing about eye hooks. are hard to turn without leverage, but they come with a hook.
Yeah, that's why they're called eye hooks.
Kind of like a handle.
Hacks.
Yeah. DIY hack. You didn't know what you were getting into. Alright, there's that. Alright, so now I have to figure out where is this going to go over here so that I'm not like, when I close it, landing on the outside. You'd put it in, try to position it so it's right in the middle of the eye, and then figure out where that hole should be when the gate is closed. And that's the trick. It's when the gate is closed, where's it going to be. So I'm going to say that's about what the spot is. I'm going to push in, get that little puncture. And pull that out.
Touch it like it's hot. Now this part's a little bit different.
And this,
But it's
remember we don't have that hook to help,
but we do
oops.
have the other.
But the hook itself
Is
works
a-
as a wrench, like so. So I could even do that with one finger, crank it right in.
And there we go.
There we go.
Hey!
So first look on the lock is great, right? It fits, it's a good match. But see how it's a little loose and it kind of pushes up? I'm gonna bend this hook part a little because we have enough play in it. It's a big enough eye that, see how there's a lot in there. We aim right for the middle, we hit it right in the middle. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bend the bottom part this way a little bit to create more of a bowl. So when someone tugs on it, it doesn't just fall
Pop
off the
open.
hook.
And see, this is something that I couldn't do myself because I don't have the muscles.
All right, so that does the trick, I think. So now if I tug on that,
Oh, look at
it's
that.
pulling into the hook rather than slipping
Just
right
popping
out.
out.
Not just you.
Huh?
Everybody.
Yeah, you want to go in there? Caleb,
Other way. Pull it
can
out.
you show off your feet for me? What month are we in?
January.
It's January.
That's what
My
You're
boy.
wearing flip flops.
Hey, all right, go see your garden. Go take a look.
That one's yours.
Very cool.
Then we'll lock them in their garden.
No, don't lock it.
I'm smart.
Well, it was a good hard day's work getting this garden all prepped and getting the mound all cleaned up and ready to be getting ready for spring, because our last frost date right here is going to be the first week of February. It's like ridiculously
gosh.
early. So here it is mid-January, so it's like everything has to be done now. So we're trying to get everything done as fast as we can with the limitations that we have. But we're doing it. We're looking forward to sharing more of our adventures with you guys. Looking forward to informing you guys on what we're doing and how we're doing it and how you can do it wherever you are. Wherever you live, you can grow things, whether it's in a garden set up like this or if it's in containers, and we're going to go over container gardening too. And it's something that you can do really wherever you are. So don't feel discouraged. Like, I live in the city so I can't garden, or I only have a small yard, or I only have an apartment. So we can talk about all the different things that you can do in the setting that you're in. Wherever you are planted, you can grow. So this is your urban nerd with a goat herd saying, grow where you're planted.